Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Vampire Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. We are following the reign of Queen Darling Cloudy Snarl, who has recently welcomed Princess Nydia into the main court. But all thoughts of the young princess have scattered after the terrible discovery of another castle fire the night before the swordfighting tournament. Lady Kira has rushed into the kitchen, discovering the horrifying flames that have haunted her dreams since the fateful day they lost half the court. Thankfully, no lives are fated to the flames today, leaving the vampires free to hunt. And the young princess sure is settling in with her best friend Zuleika. Never mind she's friends with her because it riles up her older sister Zara. So far, Nydia has managed to evade any problems within her own family, but time will tell whether her antics result in more serious consequences. And finally, the day has come for the long-awaited sword-fighting tournament. Queen Darling has taken her seat with the counselors, and the others have filled into their stands. Everyone is waiting with anticipation to see who will emerge as the victor and ultimate champion of the tournament. The stakes are pretty high, not only for the arch-enemies Zara and Zuleika, but for anyone who potentially supports them, because the influence they gain from this tournament could very well tip the scales in their favor. Before we begin the tournament, I really quickly want to explain the battle order. In this tournament, the teens and adults will participate in one big event because they can sword fight with each other without age getting in the way, like we see with Vampyre sparring. The whole goal is for the younger and weaker vampires to fight to the top, where we have our older and stronger vampires to truly earn the title of victor and ultimate champion. So the battle order is based on two things: age and status. Within each status bracket, we'll order from youngest to oldest. So we'll have our teen nobles, teen royals, lower members of court with our immortal ladies, counselors, and then the queen. In our first battle, Dame Zuleika will be challenging Princess Nydia, so let's see how this goes. I'm excited to see how this is going to go, so let's take a look. Oh my goodness, okay. Nydia has just come in, by the way, to the court, so she hasn't had any experience with sword fighting, unlike Zuleika, who's been around a little bit longer. Not much longer, but I'm excited. They are best friends, so this is kind of a really cool way for them to begin the tournament. I feel like they wouldn't really be nervous up against each other because they enjoy each other's company so much. I know we've talked about Nydia having her own kind of nefarious reasons, maybe for becoming close to Zuleika, but even if she's, with Zuleika for the sole purpose of aggravating her sister, she still enjoys Zuleika's company. That's the only reason this friendship has been able to work out. But I'm excited. Zuleika has been practicing a lot with her mother as well, so that might give her a little bit of an advantage when it comes to who wins. Oh my goodness. Nydia. Guys, Nydia just won. Oh my goodness, that is so unexpected. I think Zara would be very, very pleased. Very pleased. Because this means Zuleika no longer has a chance to gain that very precious extra bit of influence she could have from winning this tournament. And also, I think this would have kind of shown Zara that there is something about the royal blood which makes them superior to the nobles, and that she's justified in the way she thinks about them kind of being beneath her family, because despite all of the training, despite all of the effort that Zuleika has recently been putting in, and look, even Akira was on her feet cheering for her daughter, it was Nydia who won. Nydia, who just came in and I don't think has had any chance to do any sword fighting at all. So Nydia would have made her mother very proud and her sister very proud. I don't think this is going to be as damaging maybe to Zuleika's ego as it would have been if she had lost from someone like Zara. But you know what? I feel like Nydia maybe passes herself off as someone who doesn't really do much, doesn't really have a lot of skills, but who knows, guys? She might be kind of racking up the the talents and the abilities to maybe be a contender to Zara when Zara least expects it. I don't know, but I'm very proud of Nydia. Next up, we have Princess Nydia challenging her older sister, Crown Princess Zara. And also, guys, I was actually paying attention to the last battle, but Akira, I thought was cheering her daughter on, but she was kind of looking away, almost as though she couldn't bear to see her daughter in kind of the fighting ring or the battle mat. Let's see how these two go, though. I think Zara's smugness at Nydia winning is gonna very quickly be wiped away if Nydia wins against her. Because Zara does have like way more experience than Nydia when it comes to sword fighting. And this would be a matter of ultimate pride to her. I mean, she thinks that she is the best. Even within her own sisters. She thinks the royal family is better than, nobility. But she thinks within the royal family, by her birthright perhaps, she is kind of the finest of them. So it would be unthinkable for Nydia to win against Zara. Okay, guys, let's see. I love how Caleb, though, I mean, the queen is definitely looking at her daughters, and she's been on her feet, even from the first battle. But I kind of like how Caleb's at the front, and Caleb's been kindly cheering and watching and reacting to everything that's happening. And it makes sense with the character. She's someone who's been kind of good with everyone. And Zara wins! Okay, that was a really, really good battle. But Zara did manage to win at the end. So she most definitely feels validated as a crown princess, and as, well, Zara. So good on her. Now Crown Princess Zara is challenging Lady Lilith. So let's see how this goes. She was asking Lilith for advice, I think, in the last episode about her sword fighting techniques. So I'm curious whether or not the Crown Princess is going to win against Lilith. Even if she doesn't win in the other battles, should she emerge victor against Lilith, I think that would kind of prove herself to the other teens a lot more, because it would be something of note, right? That one of the youngsters actually has managed to defeat an immortal. I think that would be a huge merit for Crown Princess Zara. And we do know that one of Zara's kind of ambitions is to become kind of the strongest vampire there is. Or just, physically strong. She wants to become really, really tough. And we know she looks up to Akira. I feel like her goal would kind of be to challenge or fight, be able to challenge Akira and be able to fight her. So she would kind of, I think, take this very seriously. So let's see what ends up happening between these two. Okay, I don't know. Oh, well, their swords have disappeared. Oh, she won against Lilith? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Zara, color me impressed, honey. Color me impressed. Oh my goodness, Lilith. This would be very embarrassing for Lilith. However, again, I feel like Lilith is someone who doesn't take these type of things too seriously. Like, she's not that politically minded or oriented. If Shannon were in this position, she would be so embarrassed. But Lilith, she participates, but I don't think she cares for the power struggle. So she would kind of feel, I think, happy for the Crown Princess, but I can definitely see Zara being really smug about this and almost looking down at Lilith. Like, thank you for your advice, but we all know you're not as good as me, I think the Queen's very impressed right now. Shannon is having a ball. And yeah, Zara doesn't look too pleased. I think Zara is feeling quite, I don't know. Maybe a little bit aggravated. Maybe a little bit, bothered by the fact that Zara is kind of zooming through this. But I think she's glad that, in a way, because of Nydia, she didn't have to go up against Zara. Like, losing against Zara would have been just crushing. That would have been humiliating. Crown Princess Zara is now going to challenge Lady Shannon, so let's see how this goes. Also, beforehand, I was talking about Zuleika and Zara, but I said Zara like 5 times, so I apologize if you guys are confused by what I was saying. I was saying that Zuleika wasn't looking too pleased, and that it might be a little bit upsetting to see Zara kind of zoom through things so quickly to recognize that her opponent, her arch rival, is actually a lot stronger than she might have wanted to give her credit for. But Shannon, you were looking so smug a second ago. Let's see how you hold out against Crown Princess Zara. And I think someone made a really good point in the last episode about how Shannon doesn't really do anything, but she acts so petulant and childish. She kind of wants rewards without the effort. This might be a good time for her to prove that that is not the case, that she can actually win against someone at a tournament, that she can actually kind of emerge victorious. She can put in her blood, sweat, and tears into this whole thing. So let's see how this goes. Shannon, how you gonna do? Is Shannon going to maybe defeat the Crown Princess? Oh, there we go, guys. There we go. So Shannon managed to defeat the Crown Princess. Also, I've been noticing this for a while, but I just never pointed out, but does our Crown Princess have acne? I think she has acne. Can you guys see that? She has acne. How interesting. She's had acne for a few episodes. But, yeah. Okay, Lilith is so nice. She looks pretty happy for Shannon. Yeah, Zuleika, I think Zuleika probably, that felt really satisfying, but she doesn't want to, overtly seem like she's having fun. So just kind of looking out the window. Nydia is having fun. Nydia, we know, she finds a lot of joy in anything that makes her sister kind of lose her streak. So she is most definitely impressed by Shannon. The other thing is that I think we discovered in the last episode that Nydia looks up to Shannon the most out of all the ladies. So she might kind of see this as validation of the fact that Shannon is someone who is worth looking up to. Oh goodness, the queen I think is a little bit embarrassed, so she's looking away. Akira, is facing this quite straight-faced. She's definitely wary of Shannon. Caleb is just shocked. Caleb is so honest. I love her expressions. It's all kind of like on her face. She doesn't hide anything. So, okay, that's, well, the outcome. That is the outcome. But still, Zara did manage to defeat Lilith at least. At least that. Lady Shannon is now going to challenge Lady Caleb. These two have not really spoken since Caleb became a counselor. Shannon has been unable to express her anger, betrayal, disappointment in Caleb, but it has been festering on the inside. This might be the platform for them to kind of fight out their feelings. We know that Caleb, she doesn't have anything really to be guilty about, but Shannon is holding a lot against her because not only did she never kind of see Caleb as a threat regarding political power, but recently Shannon has become romantically involved with the queen, and Shannon doesn't like that one bit. So it'll be kind of a nice revenge for her to win against Caleb. But if she doesn't, Caleb has not really explained herself regarding everything. Caleb might not have to. Caleb will almost be justified in the fact that I earned this. You have no right to say anything about it. Caleb won! Oh my goodness. Caleb won, guys. Caleb won! I'm really happy for Caleb, actually. Because definitely, I don't think Caleb really owes Shannon any sort of explanation. Shannon cooked up all these ideas in her own head, and now she's holding Caleb accountable for them. But also, in light of this, I have to say how impressive it is that Zara actually won against 3 other people. Like, think about it. She won 3 battles. That is an accomplishment. But okay, let's wrap this up and move on to the next one. Lady Caleb is now challenging Lady Akira, so I cannot wait to see how this goes. Yorick and Queen Darling despise each other. What are you talking about? We've been watching the tournament and the Queen and Yorick have been like having a go at each other in the background. Well, that's not good. That is not good at all. But these two, I'm excited for them because I feel like they've both kind of earned the place they're in right now. Akira was not able to participate, I think, in the Vampyric tournament last time because, if I'm not mistaken, she was pregnant back then with her daughter Zuleika. So it's actually very nice for her to finally be able to, well, be on the stage. And I think it'll be really good for her daughter to see her mother win if that is the case. Now, we have, that angle. I also think Zara would feel quite gratified if Akira won because she looks up to Akira so much as one of the strongest ladies in the court. It might fracture her kind of belief a little bit if Akira loses this. But Caleb looks really strong. I don't know how this is gonna go. And what do we have? What do we have? Oh, look at that! Akira won! Okay, so Akira won this battle. Caleb fought very well, I'm proud of her. But I feel like this is so good if you look at the whole arc of Akira's story. The fact that she has kind of worked her way to this point, I think, is a testament to success. And just makes me really, really happy and joyful for her, especially considering that this is the first tournament she's ever participated in. And finally, we have Lady Akira challenging Queen Darling. This is the battle that is going to decide the ultimate victor of the swordfighting tournament. It is good to note that in the last tournament we had, the Vampyric tournament, Queen Darling did emerge as champion. So she already has kind of one title under her belt. So it is going to be even more prestigious for her to win this tournament as well. If Akira doesn't, though, I think it'll be very impressive for everyone else that Akira went against a past winner, a title holder, and she was able to kind of change the odds. So let's see how she goes. Let's see how she goes. It is a good fight, and the queen has had all this time to kind of study all of her opponents and the way that Akira fights. So Akira, let's see, can you hold out? Can you hold out? Can you win against the queen? And no, she cannot, guys. No, she cannot. Once more, the queen has proved to us that there is a reason why she is the queen. So once more, Queen Darling is the victor of the sword fighting tournament, which means she, I think, has made her bloodline even more proud. She has become an even more impressive queen in the eyes of all the vampires, and she is going to earn one extra influence point, which I think will bring her total up to, I'm going to have to check. She might have a total of 8. That's a lot. Everyone's kind of busy doing their own thing at the end of the tournament. They are now out of the stands. It is 10 p.m. on Sunday. I love how Zuleika and Akira instantly decided to practice some more sword fighting. Looks like Nydia and Zara were also doing some sword fighting, which is interesting. But we do have some whims I would like to get done. It's also nice to see that Caleb and the Queen are busy talking to each other, but Queen Darling wants to kiss someone. So I think in her just absolute joy at being the victor, she is gonna go and kiss Caleb. But their relationship has only started being kind of romantic. So she's gonna attempt a mistletoe kiss. I don't know how Caleb is gonna take this. So let's see whether or not Caleb is also maybe feeling as excited by this. I mean, so far, it all seems good. Okay, Caleb is receptive. Caleb is receptive. I think the more Shannon acts like a petulant child, the more Caleb realizes that maybe she had a certain view of Shannon when she was friends with her that might have been a little bit skewed, and I think she remembers the way people used to react to Shannon, but it always used to go over her head. Now she's thinking back and realizing that maybe there's a reason why everyone was so averse to Shannon, if this is the way she was acting towards them all. And the queen is very different to that. She enjoys the queen's company. The queen enjoys her company. There's no reason for her to feel guilty. Very, very nice. Okay, Princess Nydia wants to stargaze with her sister, Crown Princess Zara. So let's go find Zara. Oh, Zara's taking a bath. Okay, Zara, can you hurry up with your bath so that your sister can can stargaze with you before it gets kind of all bright and sunny. So let's see if we can go and ask to stargaze. Even though Nydia has been very close to Zuleika, I think she knows the benefit of making sure she is still on her sister's good side, because I don't think anyone would ever want to be on Zara's bad side. So she would most definitely kind of congratulate Zara on winning 3 of the 4 battles that she was in today. That is a big, big deal. So I think she would definitely want to chat about that. So she's gonna go ahead, try and bond with her sister a little bit. I kind of feel like Nydia is very two-faced as well, because when it comes to Zara, she pretends like she's almost happy to be Zara's lackey, but then she's with Zuleika, and I feel like she kind of eggs Zuleika on when it comes to Zara as well, because she likes the fact that someone is not willing to put up with Zara, and the fact that, she's, crown princess. So that's what's going on in Nydia's mind. Zuleika, what does she want to get done? She wants to listen to alternative music. I think out of everyone, Zuleika probably had the most disappointing day, because she really wanted to kind of prove herself and get something done, and she didn't manage to, which is unfortunate. So she's probably wanting to just listen to some music, spend some time on her own. Let's change to alternative, and then we can come up and listen to alternative music. So let's go on up. And I think more and more she's starting to feel as though the queen is kind of turning against her, because not only does the queen have a bad impression of Zuleika, but she now despises Yorick, who is Zuleika's best friend, and the queen doesn't really like Nydia, who is another one of Zuleika's best friends. So right now I think Zuleika's feeling she was unable to prove herself in any capacity, and she's kind of given the queen no reason to stand up for her. So I think she would be very, very disappointed, which is sad. That's just sad. Okay, and then we have Zara. Zara wants to stargaze with Lady Akira. Even though Akira lost against the queen, I don't think it would fracture Zara's belief in Akira the way it would have if Akira lost against Caleb, because Caleb is another noble, whereas the queen is a royal. So even if Akira loses against the queen, it's validating Zara's worldview that the royals are superior. But among the nobles, she really does look up to Akira. So she is going to ask Akira if they can stargaze as well. I think Akira was trying to, before the tournament, kind of patch up with the princess a little bit, or try and bond a little bit more, see if maybe for her sake the princess would step down from, hunting Zuleika, so to speak. But Zara doesn't feel any sort of link or connection between her relationship with Akira and her relationship with Zuleika. They are 2 separate matters in her eyes, and she does not have to respect Zuleika just because she admires Akira. So okay, let's get them to stargaze. I think she would be, instead of congratulating Akira on being able to participate in the tournament and win against Caleb, I feel like Zara would be bragging about herself, and she'd be bragging about how she won 3 tournaments, she participated in 4, she gained so much experience, and she'll definitely win the next one. I think that's the way she would be speaking. And finally, we have Lady Caleb, who wants to cook something. I feel like Caleb noticed. She was trying to give every single combatant her attention, and she kind of noticed that the queen and Yorick have started off on kind of a really bad foot. we'll make some Nebula donuts. And I think she maybe wants to leave some donuts out for Yorick so that he feels a little bit better, because I think she knows that the whole situation with Yorick is also affecting Zuleika to a degree. And Zuleika is not feeling too good about herself because of the way the queen is acting towards everyone else who's kind of connected to Zuleika. So she's gonna do her own part to try and be like a little bit of a bridge, a bit of a happy moment for the kids, the youngsters. It's kind of nice that Vampyre is over here chatting up Caleb. Also, I noticed that the queen, guys, does not like Vampyre. I mean, she has a bad impression of Zuleika, but she does not like Vampyre. I mean, look at that red. These donuts look pretty. These donuts look very pretty. But look at the red. It's kind of crazy, isn't it, that she was kind of looking at Yorick as a potential match for the crown princess, and now she dislikes Yorick so much. I feel like that is so immensely wild. And I almost wonder if someone, one of the ladies, had a hand in ruining the relationship between the queen and Yorick. Actually, it might not even have been the ladies. What if Zara had a hand in ruining the relationship between Queen Darling and Yorick so that the queen doesn't arrange her marriage with Yorick? This might have been a long-term strategy of hers. Very, very fascinating. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.